Hello Pisces, welcome to your January 2024 forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is going to help you map out all of the energy that you need to see in the new year. So welcome. And as always, you can use this for your sun, rising moon, and Venus sign. Let's go ahead now and get into the channeled messages, the first of which has to do with planning, and it almost skipped past us, which seems apropos. So the message on this one is don't wing it. In my dreams, I saw basically almost a replication of the Six of Swords, a person getting into a boat with another person, and as they started to row away from the shore, there was no compass, there was no phone, there was no way to navigate. And instead of going backward and basically picking that up, maybe losing 5-10 minutes, they said, let's just go forward. Quickly, though, it was clear that they lost their sense of direction, and it was going to be not only difficult to get to the destination, but maybe even if they did want to go back, they weren't sure which way was up or which way was anything, basically. So suffice it to say, the solution is also included on this particular slide, which is Two of Wands, plan. You actually see the person in the Two of Wands with the globe in their hand. So you want to go into a situation with intention, with planning, with research, and that's going to also give you a sense of confidence, security, clarity, and you're going to save time, energy, and resources in the long run. So this is a month where Spirit very clearly said the last two bullets. Don't wing it and trust your inner compass, because I was shown the compass. All right. This will help you be more productive. This will help everything flow naturally, easily, and that's the main thing that I got in that message. The next one was about making room for growth. So one of the themes that I kept seeing and tuning into in both dreams and meditation was travel and movement. One of the things that you don't necessarily want a lot of during a move is a lot of stuff, right? So this is a time for you to clear out. We're not just talking about like the actual things in your closet or around you, but it's also all of the things that tether us. These are relationships, activities, habits, the things that kind of anchor us down, take our time, take our energy, take our money, and lessen some of that. Really focus on only things that give you a return, only things that inspire, and only things that help you get to that, destination point that we were talking about in the previous slide a little bit easier. This is basically giving you room for growth. And I featured the Fool here because all they carry with them is what's in the knapsack. So travel lightly, let go of things that also emotionally are pulling you down, and this is going to help you move. So two cards of movement, the Six of Swords and the Fool, and they're empowered by the Two of Wands, which is vision, foresight, research, basically going into something with intention. Speaking of intention, let's take a look now at the brand new year. Again, you can always use it for sun, rising, or moon. We'll be looking at those later, and let's see what the cards have to say. Welcome, everybody. There's our Fool, helping you move forward into the future. This is a newer deck, so it's taking a moment for the cards to come undone, so thank you for your patience. Okay, let's begin. Let me zoom out just a bit so you can see everything. There we go. Okay, let's get started with your catalyst card, the key, reminding you that you are the key to create whatever action or movement or change you wish to create in your life. This is a skeleton key, which means that doors that were previously shut are now opening up, starting to move, starting to change, and this is a time to try something again. So remember to lean into your own skills, have confidence in yourself, and also just keep trying. Another thing that I get with this is a energy of persistence. So this key is eventually going to fit one of the doors, if not all of them. So you never know until you try, and you have to keep attempting. And this is a month where there's a breakthrough. Beautiful stuff with this. This is also connected with Hierophant energy. There's no less than 2 keys at the base of the Hierophant card. And this would put you in the position of Hierophant, which is leadership, structure, organization. And people may be looking to you for those sorts of things, looking to you for the answer. And you can sort it out this month, and that's what I'm getting with this. Beautiful way to begin the energy, Pisces. Let's take a look now at what's coming through here as your centermost card. I love it. I like this deck because it has modern images on it and more varied ones at that. So we have a sheriff on this particular chariot card. So this is about bringing things into order. I talked about that with the Hierophant, but there's even an additional level of this with the chariot. It's doing what's right and leading by example, because you would expect an officer of the peace or the law to do that. So this is really important for you to set the pace, set the stage, set an example, and get things sort of under control and sorted out. And if there's anything that is not where it needs to be, legally, morally, or just generally in your organizational vision, this is the time to make it happen. This is not the ultimate card when it comes to the hierarchy of like bosses and management. That's more like Emperor energy or Star energy, but this is an integral piece. And it's going to get things moving and shifting in the right direction. So that's the first, and I would say even most powerful message that we've gotten so far, is to get behind the wheel and make this organization or this movement happen, okay? Crossing this is the card that sometimes can represent competition, fatigue, maybe even just a lack of passion, but a lot can get done with the 5 of Wands. What's lacking in this card is leadership. You can see all these people fighting, vying for attention, trying to get their voice to be heard. And what's absent from this card is a map, a vision. This is tying into the compass energy that I was talking about. If everybody's just trying to make it work and nobody has a clear way to do it, that creates chaos. This could represent in a relationship or a family, just a lack of, someone that's stepping in and getting it all headed in the right direction. Maternal, paternal energy. At work, it would definitely be a boss. For you, it could be a task that you're trying to deal with, and it just isn't inspiring you. So it feels like the work is tedious. So in that sort of situation, it is a moment to decide if you want to continue on that path, make a change, or head in a new direction, because the chariot can be a new direction, okay? Really cool stuff there at the center. Again, I like that we have the key. Here's your ignition. And the challenge for you is moving past this, which we talked about. So now let's look at what one of the karmic things in the past is that could be helping, hindering, etc. this moment. We have the Temperance card in reverse. A lack of patience could be the biggest challenge. Also, just simply taking that first step can also be daunting. The Temperance angel reminds us that important things happen not overnight, but one step at a time. And if you take your time and you're clear in what it is you're trying to do, you have a better chance of being successful. Notice that the Temperance angel is also creating emotional balance, those 2 cups, making sure that you're not taking on more emotionally or even just mentally than you need to, letting go of whatever it was from the day that just passed and setting yourself back into a balanced state. 2 of Pentacles, Justice, Temperance. They're all balancing cards. Same thing with the 6 of Pentacles. They just show it in different ways. For many of you, this is finding relationship harmony and it takes time for that. This card is connected with the spring, spring in the northern hemisphere since I'm reading in the northern, so this would be probably around April. And we see a path that's opening up to you. So for some of you, there's also this question of, when do you want to turn the key? When do you want that ignition moment to happen? The good news is whenever you finally are ready to move forward, we see a lot of support coming in. We have the Lovers here in recent past and the Six of Cups in the crowning position. So this is coming in just as the new year is starting, and this is sort of where your headspace is at and what you're attracting as well. Some of this is going to take you by surprise. So I'd like to pull these cards here really quickly and look at them, because this is a card where you don't necessarily see it coming unless you tune into this forecast. This is one where you're sometimes willing to settle for less because you're impatient. And these two cards are reminding you to wait because there's something bigger, better, and brighter. Specifically and especially when it comes to partnerships, friendships, and love, which we will delve into later, but it's already coming through. By the way, these may be coming from spaces that you didn't expect, or from new connections. That's also what I'm seeing, is new people coming in. The Fool, Six of Cups, Lovers, new energy and an upgrade at that. Let's start off with the Lovers card. This is as much about a relationship as it is about what you're putting out into the world, which is something that people are interested in. The Lovers only appears when you're in that magnetic sort of energy. And so this is a time where you don't want to underestimate, undervalue, or expect less than what's possible. Really keep your eye on the horizon and use your imagination and keep an open heart and an open mind is what I was going to say. There could be new love, there could be new friendship, there could be new partnership, of course, coming in. And it looks good, folks, okay? So just be aware and be present and allow for that. One of the things that I've been talking about, we did it in the last weekly collective, was you want to avoid like false modesty. So if something good happens, rather than saying it's nothing, say thank you. I worked hard for this accomplishment or this moment. If someone comes in and it's a genuine and mutual spark, just go with it. Don't expect another shoe to fall and something bad to happen. You've aligned a synchronicity, and a really positive one. So it's about time that some good stuff happens, and this is your moment, okay? So I just want to say that for those of you that may have gone through some challenges and you're worried, I'm not really seeing anything to worry about there, okay? When good things happen, just say thank you and expect and make room for more, okay? Crowning position. Some of you might have, there could be a birth. For some of you, new child, new project, new opportunity as well on the horizon, because the Six of Cups can be a figurative baby, something that you've been working to share, deliver, or bring out into the world. But we definitely see for some of you births, and it can even be twinning energy. This is such a beautiful connection here, because if it is love, this is love in the highest form. It's one where you have the passion and the friendship. If it's a child that's coming through, it's one that you love and it's this immediate sort of bond. There's a nice deep connection that I see coming through. Hold out for that. Wait for that to happen. Wait for the mutual spark. It's super important. By the way, this is just good networking energy. So for those of you that own a small business or are trying to get a job or just trying to make new friends, all of the aforementioned are very nicely blessed by these two cards. So we have some beautiful blessings here in the new year for you, Pisces. And yes, a chance for new love, okay? We'll go deeper into maybe what that love looks like as we expand the forecast, but I want to go through the Celtic Cross first. Here's our first of, I would say, 3 challenge cards here. So we have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is a chance for you to continue to focus on something that isn't working, or to embrace something that is worth your time and energy. The 2 cups that we see here are basically the Lovers, possibly the Six of Cups. So you have new love, new friendship, new opportunities, new networking energy that wants to come through. Something didn't work out before. Maybe you worked really hard on something and you're just not seeing the progress that you want. Maybe you're comparing yourself with other people in your life and you're impatient with the progress you've made. The universe still has some beautiful upgrades, so embrace what is there and let go of what isn't or what has come to pass. There's a bridge here, much like we saw a path here, but you have to first kind of balance out your energy. And if there's something that you need to Emotionally process, that's the Five of Cups. It can be mourning, like when someone has passed away or an opportunity didn't go the way you planned and you're angry and you're mourning the loss of that path. Either way, it's important for you to kind of deal with that first so that you can embrace this. Once you had a chance to really process this emotion or series of emotions, that's when things start to open up for you. And we can see a continuation of this sort of energy here in the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups in the upright position would be love, creativity, opportunity, and just this nice sensitivity that's coming through. The reason this card came through reversed is, now that I'm looking at it, I really believe that this is connected to the compass. I always talk about knights when reversed as being an opportunity to redirect, to go back and to address something. So in my dream, there was a missing piece, a compass or a GPS. The compass is your heart. The heart is going to put you in the right direction here. So if and only if you feel inspired, connected, passionate, loving, etc. about a person, place, or a path, should you go forward. If you don't, it's a chance to go back and course correct and decide, I want to go in this direction instead, okay? It will save you time and happiness and energy in the long run. And not only that, we can see that there are multiple opportunities availing themselves to you. So this is a chance to not look at something that is what? Possibly less than what you were hoping for. Turn around and look at what the universe is offering you instead. This didn't work so that this could. There might have been a disappointment, but there's a big upgrade coming and it will make you happier. Whether it's a person or something else, that's kind of like going to be unique for each of you. But the main component here is balancing out your energy, opening up to the potential, and not accepting less than what you deserve. Now let's take a look at these two environment cards. The first one shows that there's an element of surprise. Some of you may simply be surprised at just how capable you are of manifesting, just how talented you actually are. And you may question when this energy comes through. So I mentioned before, when good stuff comes through, don't recede and say, oh, it was nothing, it's not a big deal, or I don't deserve this. You deserve it. You did well. Congratulations. Accept it with gratitude. You can still be humble, but no false modesty. You know what I'm saying? So if you worked hard, just say thank you. Sometimes that's all people want. And some of you may just be wondering, how did I end up here? That's a completely normal sort of thing. And it feels like this isn't where you want to be. So if it's a realization that you're in a path or on some sort of a journey where it's like, I think I need to do something else. Listen to that, okay? Beneath this card, we have what's anchoring you right now, the Four of Pentacles. And this is settling sometimes or attaching to something because it's predictable, because it's present, because it's where you're looking. And you can safely let that go. And remember, I said it was important this month to hold space. We're going to pull this card up because it appeared. So I said here, make room for growth. One thing that came to me was a need to release baggage. And I featured the beautiful Fool card because they have an easy way of not holding on to unnecessary baggage. So if you can focus on what's possible, what's in front of you, then you can actually start to call in some new opportunities this month, okay? And imagine more than you received before. This is a new year. We're literally in the first month of the new year. So treat it like a clean slate and an absolute reset and go for it, okay? The Fool card is a baby. Typically, if we look at the baby cards in tarot, this is the first, so it's birthing and creation. So is the Sun, so is the Six of Cups. You got two of the childlike or baby cards here. So there may be one or two opportunities or situations opening up where you feel just this kind of like flurry of energy coming through that you haven't in a long time. It's a great time to travel. It's a great time to try new things. And it's time to begin something. Letting go, starting new things, traveling, all of these things are connected to the Fool. And I'm pretty excited that this fell in a key location. So that's your environment, that's hopes, fears, and opportunities. Some of you might be afraid to take the first step, but we have two cards here showing you that it's time. The time is now. You have the key, and you have the ability to move it forward. And people are here to support you. Okay, I mentioned there were 3 cards. The 3 cards that I was looking at, these are kind of connected. It's really 4. 5 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, and now the 7 of Pentacles. So 4 cards that are challenging. The 7 of Pentacles in reverse, though, is basically saying you're headed on the right path. 7 of Pentacles is growth, recovery, and movement in your resources in the right direction. But when reversed, it's impatience and a tendency to overextend. So what you want to avoid this month is saying yes to everyone, saying yes to something that doesn't feel like it's worth it, knowingly going into something that is just going to create exhaustion or fatigue. Better to say no, better to pull back. And then just to know your limits. No is your friend. So say the word no, have firm boundaries, save a little bit of energy and time and money for contingency, for those rainy days, and you'll be so happy that you did. Preparation is the thing that really is going to save you time and again as we look at January. And not just save you, but set you up for success when we look at some of these other things. Because if you have a little bit extra, then you can spend time on the things you love the most. Let's go ahead and expand this and take a much deeper dive into the areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning with health and well-being. And the message here in the Oracle card is letting go of a facade, seeing something as it truly is. It's kind of interesting that we have a tree without leaves because, at first glance, sometimes something may look like there's nothing there, that it's gone, that it's dead. It's just dormant. So I feel like there could be a part of your life that you've protected or hidden or put a false front, a facade in front of. And this is saying, take it down and show people what's beneath it. And also, just because you haven't seen movement or growth there in a while doesn't mean that you can't reinvigorate it. All this needs is a little more light and a little more warmth, and it blossoms. So there's a part of your life that just needs a little bit more light and a little bit more warmth, and you're going to see movement there as well, okay? This is also a chance for you in relationships to see through facades. So people are going to show up as their authentic selves, and I really encourage you to see and embrace whatever that authentic self is. Sometimes it's not what we expect, sometimes it's more than we expected, okay? Let's look at the general spread of cards here and see what areas of your health you want to be mindful of. Again, with a reminder that I'm looking at energy. You always want to work with your professional, health professional if anything's going on. Okay, so temperance can represent balance. Typically, I look at it as emotional balance. And we have 2 cards here that are showing that some of you may be, actually 3, that are showing that you're processing a lot. So this is, how do I get back on sort of steady ground? This is the final phases of mourning or grieving or processing. And this is you also being able to say, I need a minute, or I need this for success or support or to be happy. Speaking up and advocating for yourself, okay? This is about not ignoring something that's going on in your environment. This is literally in the environment. So this isn't so much about your body. This is about something in the environment that affects you. For some of you, it's a lack of support and it's irking you because you need a little bit more, whether it's legitimately or like face value money, or it's just like your partner or your friend isn't showing up the way you need them to. This is a time to bring that into the light and try to deal with it in as positive a way as possible. It's time to get moving. And there's so many different ways to get your body moving. And that's something that you have to sort out with your body and with your doctor. But the Fool is typically the lowest impact card that I could pull. It shows like walking or swimming or even chair-based activities. It's just moving the body in however you see fit. A change of environment, by the way, could be really good for you, because this is a place, we'll look at it more when we go into wealth, where you're not being appreciated and in love. But in general, if you feel like you don't fit or this isn't you, you can release it. You don't have to hold on to that, okay? 7 of Pentacles is a slow and steady recovery. So when it comes to like broken bones or just anything that you're recalibrating in your body, there's a certain amount of time that stuff takes and you can't rush it. And this is just reminding you to listen to that. Otherwise, the cards are great. There's a lot of people in your life. Some of those people may be bringing in their own drama. So this is also an encouragement to, in certain situations, let them sort that out. You can walk away. You don't have to fix or sort of deal with everything, because there is this control energy at the center, the Chariot, and it feels like you're a peacekeeper trying to keep the peace, but sometimes it can just agitate and irritate. So wait until someone asks, or wait until something's really necessary. And instead, I think this month it's better for you to focus on balancing your own emotions, advocating for more support where you need it, and getting the body moving. All of that stuff is going to help you out. And also digging a little deeper into each and everything, especially when it comes to something that, if there's something on the surface that doesn't make sense, it's good to get a second opinion. That's also what I'm seeing with the facade, because the facade is basically just a cover on top of something older and different, and sometimes, it's covering something up that shouldn't be there. Okay. Let's move on to the wealth card. In wealth, we have the shadow energy. It's reversed. This is your resources, life purpose, and career. So some of you are overcoming a feeling of a lack of control or a lack of insight when it comes to abundance, because that's really what we're looking at with wealth. You can be retired or you can be a student, and this part of the reading still applies to you. It's saying you are not afraid in this moment to explore and to empower and to fix anything that's going on with your finances. And for some of you, maybe it's just something where you haven't had to deal with it before. So the Eight of Swords and the Four of Pentacles is like, well, if I just ignore this, maybe it'll go away. Or maybe some of you had a parent, a partner, or a friend that helped you with finances, and they're out of the picture, and there's some stuff that needs to be fixed or dealt with here. You're going to be okay. That's the good news with the Seven of Pentacles, but you have to take a step toward control and managing and organizing things a little bit. That is going to make you feel better. Once you know, basically knowledge helps dissipate fear, and then you can actually become empowered and see the progress that you need. There is some interesting, we'll get into relationships in a moment, but it does feel like finances play a big role in families. Some of you are overcoming generational issues with abundance, because there is a scarcity mentality here. Like, I don't see it, it's not coming, why do other people have it? But you're moving towards abundance. So the scarcity was more attached to familial energy or ancestral energy, but there's a lot of love and support here, and there's opportunity knocking. It's literally in the outcome. So if you can turn toward the opportunity and release the familial anchor, then this is what's going to allow you to go in the right trajectory. Let's now specifically dig into three particular paths for those that have a job, that are looking for a job, or that aren't focusing on it. That can be students or those that are retired. So starting first with those that are employed, getting organized is going to be so important. And maybe stepping into a leadership role, showing your leadership potential, because that'll go a long way. It does feel like people would be happy to see someone like you step up. And it's just a matter of showing initiative. So if you want to turn the key in that area, I definitely see growth potential. It may take a little longer than you want. One step at a time, maybe takes up to a year before there is a chance to go into a different role or get a different amount of money, but it's worth this for those that are in a current job. Let's now look at some other things going on in current workplaces. A lack of recognition. You're working your butt off, but you're not getting a lot of recognition. That is something that, of course, would cause a lack of satisfaction, a feeling of being left out in the cold. And also this feeling of like, do I have to compete? What do I have to do to be heard and seen? So for some of you, there are some things that you can change, some things that you can't. Do what you can, but we do have a card that shows walking. So see what else is out there. Do a little bit of research. See if it's better, if the grass truly is greener somewhere else. In the meantime, save money, pay off your bills, and get in a position where that financial freedom is freedom in general. That'll give you the capacity to move if you need to, move on if you need to, okay? I think it's important to be happy and to look at where you can affect change right now. See if that's enough. This is a deciding card. You're gonna weigh it out and you're gonna say, will this work for me? Is it enough? And if not, a better opportunity is on the horizon for many of you, okay? But there is a challenge. You can step up. You either are going to have to do some work, step up, and then put into motion something new, or do the research and see what else is out there. That's kind of what I'm picking up on for many of you. Otherwise, it could just be a little slow. Finances are not exactly where you want them to be in a business right now. It looks like it's going to take a quarter of the year for some companies to kind of get into a better place. And so that's one thing that I'm seeing here as well. You have options. You don't have to stay unless you want to. And if you stay, you can change what you're doing. Okay, so that's my main download for those that have a job. One last thing for everybody as we kind of look at those that are seeking a job, it's important to talk about your compensation. So in existing jobs, it might be about next level up or a lack of, or it could even be based on experience or gender or some other bias where you're saying, you know what, I'm doing the same as this person, but they're making this, what's this about, and bringing it to the light. Let's change the focus now and look at those that are seeking a job. The first card that my eyes are drawn to, it's the Fool. This is a powerful, multifaceted card, and I want to break it down for those of you that are seeking work. For some of you, you may have purposely stepped away from something and stepped toward a dream. The Fool isn't just walking away, it's also walking toward. So when I quit my corporate job, which took a lot of time and energy, by the way, for me to get to that position, I went to undergraduate, I went to grad school, I spent a decade and a half, I was climbing that corporate ladder. The next position would have been like director, and then after that VP. I could have gone that path, but there came a moment where I just needed to move forward and follow my heart. And so I walked away from all of that. And I remember a conversation with Human Resources where they said, you realize you're walking away from your career. I didn't have the foresight to say this now, but I'm giving it to those of you that are doing this. I would have said now, yes, but I'm walking toward my dream. I'm approaching something that I really want. I did say it in different words, but I could have just picked up the thought and said, yeah, but there's two ways to look at this. This is the other side of the coin. So if you're ready to start fresh, it can be starting fresh on something that, yes, will take a little bit of work, and this can be entry level, but it also could be built a lot faster than you think because you're engaged. And when you're engaged and have magnetic cards like this, you're not alone. Maybe some of you are going to do a partnership sort of thing where it's a small company or more than one person. It could be two or it could be a group. That's what I'm seeing here. There's a chance that you don't have to step out into this all alone. Or you have a lot of advice perhaps as well. This can also be, for those of you that are freelancers, this can be work that is temporary or month to month, contract work. I would love if this could then develop into an Eight of Cups energy ultimately, because Eight of Cups at least has a cyclical sort of stamp to it where this is very much, at will employment, like take it or leave it, or it could change any given day. So I see temporary work. I see those of you starting sort of like from scratch, or for many of you that even though students usually come later, maybe you went back to school, this can represent now entering at a new level. It can be ground level, or it could be a new level that you hadn't thought of before. So it's new, it's out of your comfort zone, but I also feel like it can go further, farther, faster than you ever imagined, because on the heels of this, we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is really, really good. And it's an upgrade from wherever you came from. And that's very, very important. Okay? Really, I think that message benefits everyone, but especially those that are putting their feet out there again and trying new things. Keep on trying, keep on keeping on, because I see at least one or two bites on a resume or people that are interested. And I think this is a good month for you. Okay? There could be some travel. We have two cards of travel, actually. The Chariot can represent, maybe some of you even drive this can be those of you that might be truckers or freight carriers or things like that, where you're actually transporting goods and services. Or you might be deciding to do something like Uber or Lyft, where you're monetizing the car a bit. Totally get that. The flexibility piece is what comes through. It does feel like there is an upgrade here in the finances, generally speaking. All of this, though, the main thing is how to get past the work and into the inspired mode, because there is a little bit of work that has to be done for all Pisces this month. So push through that and you're going to get some blessings. If you're not being heard or seen in one path, look somewhere else. It's basically the hand of spirit saying, don't focus on this. It's not enough. So if you don't hear back from someone, don't push it. There are enough options out there that I feel like you'll stumble upon the right one. And it is good to look beyond your current sort of postal code. Different city, state, province, country, etc. could be advantageous as well. Pretty good energy overall for those job seeking. Definitely go to events, whether this is a seminar, a free sort of networking event, a party, a gathering. You have mingling energy that's coming through really well, so you might make a work connection there. Okay, that's everything with respect to those that are looking for work. Now for those of you that are either retired or maybe on the path of studying. I'll start first with the retired. Getting out and exploring the world and getting to know where you're at. So one thing that I got to do when I was, when I quit my corporate job and was setting up my new sort of path, I met the neighbors for the first time. This sounds funny, but it's also kind of sad. I had previously lived at a building where I was there for almost, 8 years. But I got up really early and I came home really late and I did my laundry like at midnight. I didn't know, maybe more than a handful of people, 2 or 3. And then when I quit my job, a little bit later, I got Apollo like a year later, but all these people were like, "Oh, are you new here?" And I said, "No, I've been here like 3/4 of a decade." But I was so busy that I didn't get a chance to see, enjoy, and connect with my neighbors. And then I got to also sort of get to know my neighborhood and just sort of for the first time enjoy where I lived, take hikes whenever I wanted to and do stuff like that. So if you have freedom in your schedule, enjoy it and just embrace the freedom. Do whatever you want to do. That's the first thing. This is especially for those who are, retired and you worked hard to get to this moment. You don't have to commit to anything right now. That's one of the best things here. So if people push you to go volunteer, go get a job, do this, that, or the other thing, just enjoy your freedom, my friend. That's key. I think one thing that's important is to look at your general finances and figure out where you want to save, where you can splurge a little bit. And the main thing here is educating yourself on that. Lots of socialization cards. These are mild travel cards. So this can just be a day trip or, like I said, seeing your own city, like a sightseer for the first time, like a tourist basically, and having some fun with friends. It's really just about grounding yourself in everyday fun activities. That's what I'm picking up on. And for the students out there, don't lose out on the social stuff. Make sure that it's not all work. Balance it out. A little bit of work, a little bit of fun. And also if you have the benefit of being in a different country or you're traveling in different state, like make sure that you're also soaking that in. I did an internship when I was younger, but I didn't do enough excursions. Like I was in the United Kingdom and spent some time there, but I didn't get to see all of it. And I would have definitely done more traveling while I was there. I did get to see a little bit of Europe too, but it was just too little, and you never realize how much you're going to be working and doing other things in other parts of your life. So if you have a chance to be somewhere else, really soak it in, okay? And that's everything for that particular category. Let's move on to love and relationships, which seems to be playing a big role in the cards today. So, as I was saying, count your blessings and say thank you if good stuff is coming in. It says, "Thank you, universe and angels, for the blessings in my life." And the card was reversed. So some of you may be having a hard time kind of realizing, like, how is this really happening? Like when you achieve a certain level of success or positive attention, or you just feel like you accomplished something, people are applauding you. So just bow your head and say, "Thank you so much. I appreciate the support." And if you're going through a challenging moment, like maybe you're more in the 5 of Wands energy, where there's competition, or you're in the 8 of Swords, where no one's paying attention to you, or the 4 of Pentacles, where there's not enough coming your way. This is you also saying, well, I know what I don't want. I know where I'm not wanted or appreciated. And that helps me focus on where I can and should spend my time. So there's always a blessing. Sometimes it's a blessing in disguise, but nonetheless, it's there. Let's break this down into 3 categories, and we'll broaden it out. I'm sure there'll be general messages, but I feel inclined to go straight into the categories now. So those in love, looking for love, or happily single. And that'll probably be the more generic one for those that are happily single. So if you're in a loving relationship right now, here's what I see. This is the part of the relationship where there's some adjustment and work. So this is the honeymoon phase. This is the friendship. There's a lot of good stuff and a lot of stuff to love here with these 2 cards. But in any loving relationship, there's also things that you just have to sort out. The bills, the household sort of responsibilities. Also kind of dealing with life's challenges. Because once you're out of the dating phase and you're kind of like in a long-term relationship, you have to be there through thick and thin. And so some of you have a partner who might be going through a difficult time, a disappointment. It looks like it's a manageable setback. It could be financial. It could be frustration, again, in a lack of sort of like support or achievement or getting enough sort of resources. So this is where the two of you have one another's back. I actually feel like it's pretty manageable for most of you with that respect. And as I said earlier, you don't have to fix everything for the partner. You just have to be there and loving and supportive. And there are times where maybe they need their space. Maybe you need your space. Give one another that room to breathe. There's so much love here, but it can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes. So if they need to process something, it's okay. One thing that often gets lost in spiritual messaging is that you have to immediately go from this to this, from sadness to happiness. That's not true. And it also does a disservice to the power, and I really do mean that, the power of grieving. You know, I lost a loved one almost 2 years ago. And it was so important for me to be able to go through all the stages of grief, from denial to anger, to sort of even just sort of not feeling anything sometimes, to then sometimes just weeping. You have to do it all. And then one day you just wake up and you're feeling better because you gave yourself a chance to, you have to feel it, mind, body, and spirit, right? And only after you've gone through the appropriate stages can you then say, oh wait, look at what's there. So this card is both. Once you've moved through this, there is a rainbow, there is something beautiful. I can only encourage you to keep looking and keep the hope for that. But if you're going through all of that, talk to someone. I did. Lean on people that love you. I did. And it helps you. And you have the support here. It doesn't just have to be a therapist. It can be your partner and your friends. And as a partner to someone, you can also remind the partner of that too. So there's a big network. You're not the complete network for your partner, and you don't have to rush them through the grieving process. Those are the takeaways from what I just said. And if you need help, even helping someone, then reach out. All of that applies. The good news, folks, is we see movement and we see recovery, okay? One step at a time. I do like the general sort of trend here, which is patience, love, and recovery. And that's the big takeaway for existing relationships. If everything is beautiful, then the main challenge for many of you is financial. And some of the finances could be stressed also because of additions to the family, whether it's extended family, a new member of the family, even a pet, whatever. There could just be some new things that are coming through to make sure that you have everybody covered. It's a great time for estate planning, by the way, for any level of relationship, whether you're single or married or whatever. Definitely do the estate planning so that you know where things are going. You can't take the money with you, so you want to make sure everyone is taken care of. Okay, that's everything for those in a loving relationship. And I do want to emphasize there is love and friendship here. So I like the bones of the relationship. It's just the work. And you don't have to play the peacekeeper. That's the last piece here. That in fact could create more of a tension here. So it's okay for them to be out of sorts a little bit. You're just a resource. You can give them resources, but give them time. All right. Moving on to those that are looking for love. Can you find it? Emphatically, exclamation points to the end of the line. Yes, yes, yes. Lovers and Six of Cups. It's a great time to find love. I think that disbelief is the only thing holding you back. You may not be looking in the right place, or you may hold yourself back from going for something, because this can even be you thinking, they're out of my league. Because this is sort of, like I said, a scarcity mentality or lower self-esteem, especially when combined with the Eight of Swords. And there's all this love coming through. So I just want to kind of give you a pep talk and encourage you to go for it. And if someone is legitimately and mutually attracted, then please take the first step, take a step towards that. Okay. Try new things, push yourself into new situations. Yes, you can meet somebody new this month. Water energy is coming through pretty loud and clear. That's what you're attracting as well. It's you, like attracts like. I didn't really get other elements coming through as much as that. So that's why you want to really be in a good sort of firm foundation, so that if you pull in another water sign, or another really creative and passionate person, because it can be that you can handle it, right? Because I think things could move fast. and pretty, again, it could kind of like change your perspective on what's possible. So I just want you to be prepared for that, for something fast moving, for something that checks off a lot of the items on your list, if not all of them. So this is a time to really work on that manifestation and say, yes, universe, all of this are greater in divine timing for the highest good. Okay. This person could also be from a different city, state, country, or province. There's something that comes through as distant or new or fresh with that. Financially speaking, clean up your finances and learn about theirs, because that is the only fly in the ointment that I'm seeing time and again. If you're single and happy, good for you. What I see for you nonetheless is a chance to expand your friend and business and social network anywhere you want to. It's not going to be a month where you should be hermiting. I will say that. You can be single and happy and have a really, really busy social calendar this month. Have fun traveling if you want to. It feels like one of the other challenges is just bringing balance to all aspects of your life, your work, your social, and your financial aspects. And hopefully this expanded forecast is giving you what you need with that. And it may be a time where you decide to mentor someone younger or someone that's just starting off in something new. These are definitely mentor cards. The Lovers, the Six of Cups, and the Fool, very kind of like parental and very kind of like helping a baby out of the nest. And you can connect with someone in your life that you want to be mentored by as well. Okay, that's great stuff. Now let's get into a very curious card coming through in Destiny. So there's a yes and a no in this particular deck, and we got the no card. So if you had a secret question that was coming through just as I was about to talk about this is clarity that it's okay to say no. Sometimes you just need to know that that's all right. You don't have to do something. And I may just be underlining something that has been under the surface for a while. And you're thinking, Nicholas, I'm very, very torn. I know I should want to do this, but I don't. Okay, the universe just said, then don't. And decide what you want to do next. And that's really all we have to say on that card. You can say no. It's okay to feel the word no. You just have to articulate it. And also it's about knowing, K-N-O-W, not just N-O, but knowing what's right. And seeing something that you shouldn't do and saying, no, I don't want to do that. I know better. Okay, so I'm getting both of those, like the homonym, right? So that is everything for Destiny. There is something in front of you where you're going to say no, and that's actually going to be pivotal to opening up the Lovers and the Six of Cups energy. We're going to expand this now, taking a look at Sun, Rising, and Moon sign messages first. Then we're going to do a bonus card for 2024. So let's give the cards a shuffle and see what's coming through. And then, of course, we'll do the final card at the end. First things first, Sun, Rising, and the Moon. Okay, let's begin with the Sun sign. All of these came through reverse, so there is some movement, some shifting, and some release. I'd rather get the Five of Swords in the reverse state because it shows that you are over arguing unnecessarily, trying to get people to agree with or approve of whatever it is that you're doing. And you know when to walk away from someone like this or when to just let it go. So be smart, be clear. And, when it comes to this no card here, you could be saying no to this. It's not worth the time and energy. Or maybe you're going to advocate for someone here that's not being treated well. And you're going to say, no, don't do that. This isn't okay. Not on my guard. Okay. So very clear message here, which is to walk the higher ground here, lead by example. We talked about that at the very beginning, and say no to this for sure. This can also be the inner saboteur coming through, which is taunting you, because this is a card that gets a rise out of negativity. So it's just critical, but not constructively critical. So sometimes we do this to ourselves and we say, I'm not deserving of this, or this won't last, or I can't do it. And so universe is saying, say no to the inner saboteur, push it back. You can do it. You will do it. You are doing it. And you are pulling in higher energy across the board. Let's move on to Rising and Ascendant. It's time to reclaim power. It's okay to be in charge. It's okay for you to fight for what matters most. And maybe some of you haven't been in this position before, but the universe is encouraging you to explore leadership positions for sure. It's encouraging you to ask for what it is that you need and to take an authoritative role in things that matter to you. More power, more autonomy, more control. And it's a nice complement to the Chariot. And the Chariot here is doing what's right because we have the Sheriff on this card. Some of you might be standing up to someone that you don't agree with in leadership and saying, this isn't the way. And instead, what you're going to do is lead the way or show the way or explain what it is that you have instead. No matter how you look at it, though, you have a chance to rise up if you want to. And that's the message in Rising and Ascendant. The other thing here is age it doesn't need to be the big issue. So if you're thinking, I'm too young or I'm too old, or I have too much or too little experience, the universe is also coming through and saying you're focusing on the wrong thing. Or if the people around you are focusing on that, not only might it not be legal or right, but it's not worth your time and energy. Very similar to what we just saw. Focusing now on moon sign messages, now is the time, like right here, right now. This is a card of change. When the card is reversed, it's overdue change. And it's saying, if not now, then when? And also, there could be this connection that's happening, and you don't want to miss it. And the universe lined up this synchronicity for you. And so now is the time to get on that connecting flight and see what the universe has in store. This is moving up. This is expansion. This is outreach. This is very, very good. But it can also be something very, very big. And the change, you might need a moment to adjust to it. So it can be new money coming into your life, a new job. It can be some new news and information that changes the way you see things. So give yourself a moment to adjust to it. You don't have to make any major decisions past that initial move, okay? Now we're going to do a bonus card, and we're going to look at what this whole new year is all about for you in a single card, no pressure. This is basically the growth opportunity. I'll help focus it a bit. This is great. I love it. So it's saying, give yourself time to dream. It's also the universe having a momentary conversation with you saying, hey, Pisces, what do you want? How can I help you? How can I align you to that synchronicity that Nicholas just talked about? When you're clear, the path will open. If your head is in the clouds and you're not clear, then it's going to take longer and it's not as effective. And that's when the impatience comes in that we see in the Seven of Pentacles or in a reversed Temperance card. Both of those were reversed, actually. So clarity is key. But this is a card of brainstorming and dreaming and thinking about the possibilities. At some point, you have to decide, though, and that's what I'll leave you with on that. Now let's take a look at your final question. What is it that you want to know for this first month of 2024 that I haven't yet talked about? Hold that question to yourself for a second. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You received the King of Pentacles reversed. This is a beautiful card, not just in illustration, but also in message. In the upright position, it represents having a green thumb, being able to basically call in abundance and opportunity. The reversal of this means that some of you in this moment may be choosing to focus on your personal development. You may be taking some resources and saying, I want to go back to school, or I want to learn more about this, or I want to work a little less here, and I want to focus on this aspect of my life. And so this would be a confirmation of those sorts of things. Now, as a representation of self, it comes with a cautionary note, which is make sure that what you're putting time and energy into has, there's a definite return on that. So I'm all for personal development, but there can also be splurging that comes with this. So if there's a luxury item that's going to be involved with all of this, or if there's just overindulgence, it's saying know when to say when. And the other thing here is there could be a person in your life that's trying to take more than they should, and this is about standing up to that. So there's some nuances with this, which is you have the capacity to basically surpass your own expectations, but sometimes you can go too far into self-indulgence or into overworking tendencies, and that could hold you back. So just don't let that happen, okay? As a yes-no answer, the fact that it was reversed is telling me that there may be a better way, a more time or I would even say cost-effective way to do something. So look at the fine print. That's my one piece of encouragement there. But ultimately, because it's a power card, yes, I'm just seeing that there's an efficiency that's being lost somewhere. So my advice here is simply to think it through a little bit, see if there's a better way to do it, and then proceed accordingly. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider liking and subscribing, and also opting into that bell notification because it'll allow you to basically see all future videos. So thank you for doing that. Absolutely free, and it helps the channel as well. Feel free to also follow me on all official social media platforms. You can see the link below. You can also go to my website if you need more information. Just a quick note, I don't offer private readings and I don't use direct messages, so please block and report anybody that does that. I post new videos every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. I do a live stream every Sunday at 9:15 a.m. Pacific time. Please show up if you can to those. They're always a lot of fun. I will be doing special ones here over the holidays if you're watching this in December. And I typically don't miss one unless there's a very special event going on. So hope to see you at some of those. You can also look at my daily card readings as well. And that, my friends, is everything. I just want to say thank you for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. Couldn't be here without your support, and you really make it worth the while. So from my heart to yours, I wish you a fantastic, abundant, happy, healthy new year, and I'll see you soon.